So you want to run combat in D&D, but you don't know jack shit about how this fucking game works? Then you've come to the right place. Combat is a big part of D&D, and learning it can seem like a daunting task, but I'm here to help. Welcome to the Idiot's Guide, where I explain stuff as quickly and simply as possible to educate other dumbasses like myself. Now, let's get into it ASAP. Throughout this video, I'll be using an example to show how combat works. Our example battle scenario has a party of 4, Asterion the Rogue, Gale the Wizard, Karlach the Barbarian, and Shadowheart the Cleric, going up against an adult red dragon. They will also be placed on a grid or battle map. Each square is 5 foot by 5 foot in the game, but most likely 1 inch by 1 inch IRL. Once situations in the game have gotten tense and hostility is reaching its limit, to start combat, the Dungeon Master announces that we're gonna roll for initiative. What's an initiative? I'm glad you asked. Initiative determines who goes first in combat, and the turn order proceeds from highest initiative to lowest initiative. On a character sheet, you'll have a little box showing what you add to the roll, but what about a monster stat block? Well, whether you're rolling initiative as a player or a dungeon master, you'll add you or the monster's dexterity modifier to the roll. For example, our party and the dragon roll initiative to see who goes first in this battle. Asterion goes first because he rolled a 25, the bastard, followed by the dragon who rolled a 22, then Karlach with a 17, Shadowheart with a 12, and finally Gale with a 7. Now that we have our turn order all set out, it's time for combat. Combat happens in the form of rounds. Once each character has gotten a turn, the round ends and the new one begins. On their turn, each character has an action, a bonus action, and movement. A character can use their action to attack, dodge, disengage, hide, help, use a class feature like the Cleric's Channel Divinity or the Druid's Wild Shape, or cast a spell like Firebolt or Magic Missile. A character can use their bonus action to make an offhand attack, attacking with their other hand if they're dual-wielding and use the attack action, use a class feature like the Barbarian's Rage or the Bard's Bardic Inspiration, or cast a spell that could be used on a bonus action like Healing Word or Spiritual Weapon. Just note that you can only cast a leveled spell and a cantrip during your turn, not 2 leveled spells. And finally, movement. That's just moving around on the map, that part's easy. So, for our scenario, Asterion uses his action to attack the dragon with a short bow, he unfortunately misses, before moving behind this pillar, who uses bonus action to hide because he's a rogue, and rogues can do that. Next is the dragon, who does not move, but uses its action to use its breath weapon. Everyone but Asterion fails the saving throw and takes a good chunk of damage. Moving on to Karlach, she'll use her bonus action to start raging, before moving towards the dragon and making 2 attacks with her action. Shadowheart will move off to the side a little before casting Sacred Flame as an action, and casting Spiritual Weapon as a bonus action. Finally, Gale will also move off to the side before letting loose a Lightning Bolt spell. He can't do anything with his bonus action, so he'll end his turn there. Now that everyone is gone, we bring it back to the top and start again. Rinse and repeat until all members of one side are dead or surrendered, or after any event that makes one side wish to stop fighting. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for— Surprise! I lured you into a false sense of security! There are a few things that can interrupt the flow of combat that we gotta cover. Firstly, reactions. A character or monster could take a reaction during someone else's turn for specific things. The most common reaction to take is an opportunity attack, which a creature can take when their opponent leaves their melee range. The dragon is moving away from Karlach, so she'll use her reaction to swipe at it as it runs away. Monsters can do this too, and make the player characters think twice about running from a fight. Other uses of reactions can be using class features like the monk's deflect missiles, or a certain subclass of fighter's parry maneuver, or casting a spell like Hellish Rebuke or Counterspell. Just keep in mind, a creature has only 1 reaction per round, and refresh us once we get back to that creature's turn. Secondly, we have legendary actions. Certain types of powerful creatures have legendary actions, which they can take separately from a reaction after someone else's turn. For example, after taking a heavy hit from Asterion, the dragon will use a legendary action to make attack against him in retaliation. Monsters have a limited amount of legendary actions, usually 3, but they refresh on the creature's turn just like reactions. And finally, lair actions. Again, some powerful creatures will have lair actions if they're in their home base. These typically won't be in their stat block. A creature can use a lair action from their list on initiative count 20. Let's pretend in our initiative order that the dragon's lair rolled a 20, happening after Asterion and the dragon take their turns. A monster can't use the same lair action 2 rounds in a row. And with that, we're finished. Thank you for watching the Idiot's Guide to D&D Combat. Feel free to watch this video as much as you want to refresh your memory, and be sure to check the Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, or Monster Manual, or just Google it, if you find a term you don't understand wasn't covered here, or if you have to figure out how a certain scenario would work. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you want to. It is entirely up to you, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!